going to throw out a hot take. I think you could say that Dave Filoni fixed the prequels. What he did by creating those stories in the Clone Wars era sort of filled in the gaps. And for people like you and I that may or may not have loved the prequel movies, he changed them. He fixed, quote unquote, fixed. And I'm going to use a broad statement, recognizing that I'm overstating it. But he fixed the prequels. He's working on potentially fixing the sequels. Now, I don't mean that the sequels need to be fixed, but there is no doubt a rift in the fandom. There's no doubt a inconsistency in the story, and so perhaps in this Mandalorian time frame, he's doing two things. One is he is making connections for people who felt disconnected when the sequels came out, right? Who he is intentionally and very, very effectively connecting to things that are now legends by throwing you a Thrawn, by throwing you some of these one-off sort of mentions of things that people like you and I who lived off the EU. And honestly, I mean, point blank, I was not disappointed when they got rid of the EU. I thought parts of it were confusing, parts of it were not great, but interesting, right? And so here's where I think it's going. I believe that we're going to see a situation where things like Heir to the Empire and Dark Empire, which are two very solid and very, almost considered gospel by people before Disney purchased Lucasfilm, I think we're going to see a version of that in the flowing stories. And I don't think we're going to see Han and Leia, and I don't think we're going to see, obviously, they're not going to totally retcon it and give us twins and all that stuff. But I do think we're going to get the story that happened in that time frame from a different point of view. Are we going to finally live some of those things that people expected to see as the sequels in a different sort of way of telling those stories? Would that kind of storytelling help heal the fandom?